So, I forgot about this deck. Hello guys and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are taking a look at another deck that received buffs due to the existence of Radiant Typhoon, and that is Sky Striker, which is a deck I genuinely forgot received support through Radiant Typhoon cards. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I'm not that big of a fan of Sky Striker and the way that it currently works. I'll get into that later. But for the most part, it did receive a substantial buff due to Radiant Typhoon for two reasons. One, it allows it to play more quick play spells, which are generally speaking more useful, but it also allows it to play, of course, Radiant Typhoon Vision, which gets multiple cards into the graveyard, multiple spells, notably, while also giving them additional ways to search and what have you. On top of that, you could also play additional Radiant Typhoon cards. I'm just playing Vision in this list, but you could also potentially play Chant and some of the other names. You could play Manifestation or Ascendance and what have you. You could play like a full package if you really, really wanted to. But for the most part, we're just playing Vision as an additional way to search out cards. Not search, draw. Well, yes, search as well. It also gives you searchable back row removal, which is actually pretty useful in the current era of Yu-Gi-Oh! So, all in all, giving additional spells for Sky Striker is pretty good. And it's just like a better version of Upstart Goblin, which was already being played in a lot of Sky Striker lists. So let's quickly go over the card by card and the explanation. It's pretty simple. We are playing a small amount of monsters. We are playing the 3 Ray and the 1 Rose. We are also playing the 3 Fool Loss and 1 Maxi. And that is it for the monsters. Nice, clean 8 monsters. The rest of these cards are spells. We have a whole bunch of spells. Notably, we are playing Harpy's Feather Duster and Heavy Storm alongside the MST, so we have lots of back row removal in general. We also have the Thrust to gain us additional access to all of our normal spells, which are everything from Harpy's Feather Duster to Triple Attack, and that's it. I'm not playing any traps. I don't feel like it's necessary. Theoretically, you could, but I didn't. I don't think it's worth it. We're also playing Rhoda as well as the Triple Tactics Talents as well. And then we have 3 Engage and the 1 Afterburners. That's it for the normal spells. Everything else is a quick play spell. The 1 Radiant or MST alongside the 3 Vision to draw us additional cards. We're also playing 3 Book of Eclipse as well as 3 Droplet as disruption and ways to help break boards. And then the rest are the Sky Striker cards. Oh, sorry. We're also playing Called by the Grave. The rest of the Sky Striker cards, we are playing 3 Widow Anchor, 3 Linkage, 1 apiece of Shark and Hornet, and then 2 Lemniscate. I got there. We're playing 2 Lemniscate. This card's okay, but it only comes up occasionally where it's useful. Generally speaking, having 2 is nice, but honestly, sometimes there are moments where I just want the 1. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not the greatest. The problem with it is having to fill the extra deck it can kind of be an issue, right? Not extra deck, graveyard. That's the biggest issue with it. As for the extra deck, it is pretty simple. We're playing Typhoon and then a whole bunch of Sky Striker spells or monsters. We are playing 3 Kagari and 3 Zero, and then 1 apiece of Shizuku, Hayate, Kaina, the new Amatsu, Zeke, Azalea, and Camellia, and the reason we're only playing 1 apiece of all of those is due to the fact that you can put them all back off of Lemniscate. That's it. It's very easy to just recycle the cards, so it doesn't really make sense to play a whole bunch of additional copies. The only ones that do matter are Kagari and Zero. And to be fair, you could also potentially cut these down to 2 if you really wanted to, but I found it more useful just to have the 3. And then we have 1 Axis Code Talker. And that's it for the deck. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performed. Alrighty, here we are going first, and this isn't exactly the greatest of hands, but there is I mean, it's good. We have a bunch of interactions. Let's see what we can do. We're gonna start off here with the Ray. They're gonna go for the Fua. Yeah, it makes sense. Cool. I mean, I'm not playing Ash. I don't think it's worth it to play Ash in this deck. Theoretically, you could, but I just don't think it's worth it. The Zero gets impermed, and that's fine. We're just gonna pass the turn. Sets that pass. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Out comes Cupsy Yummy. Out comes Surprise. Well, I mean, they drew the 1 of. What can you say? They're going to go for the Snatchy here. I am going to imperm it. Not imperm, Widow Anchor it. The reason for this is because the field spell, either the Acroquet or Mignon both are not good for me. So I'm just like, okay, we'll just cut them off of that, see what we can do from there. They're going to go and put back the Ray, which is kind of a choice, seeing as how we have 0 on the field. But okay, I feel like you put back Widow Anchor, but whatever. They're going to go for the Cupsy Yummy Way here, pitching Ghost Ogre, which is kind of funny. Special Summon out, going to Link Karibo. Then activate to the Surprise, bringing back the Marshmallow. Marshmallow effect is going to add back the Surprise. I'm like, okay, yeah, that kind of sucks. They're going to go Surprise here, and they're actually going to bounce. I'm like, oh, that kind of... yeah, I hate to see it. But out comes Snatchy, out comes the Lollipo. We're just going to pop the Snatchy here. They do end up bouncing our Droplet. Had they hit this one, we would have actually had some sort of disruption here, but now I just kind of can't do anything. They're going to go for the Lollipo. They're going to special summon out the Cookie that they searched out. Out comes Snatchy, out comes Link Karibo. Why are we going Link Karibo? I don't know, because we're going to go for the SP Little Knight, and we're going to banish the last of our back row. For some reason, I don't know. They really messed up. Here's the thing. I just didn't activate anything. I literally gave them no way for them to activate the effect of their synchros. So they thought that I was going to give them that. So they just kind of bricked themselves. Like, they didn't have anything. They didn't really do anything. And instead they went for SP. That's choice, I guess. We draw triple tactic thrust, but notably they didn't have a way to deal with our rows. So out comes Hayate. I attempt to go to combat. I do end up going to combat just to walk over the Lollipo. Since they activated the effect of their card, we get to go for the triple tactic thrust. However, they no longer have a guy on field, so we just get to set the engage for later. We're going to go for the Kagari, add back the Widow Anchor. Then I go for the Shizuku here, and then set 3 and pass. Activate the Shizuku, grab Linkage. Linkage is then going to get us into 0. So we're going to go into 0 here. We're going to search our deck. I go for the Lemnis Gate, and I'm just going to put back some cards here and put it into the grave, which is notable as well, because we can use it later for a Link summon. So, cool. Now it's my turn, or my opponent's turn. They're going to go for the Marshmallow. I'm going to go for the Widow Anchor. They're going to go and attempt to synchro. Then they're going to go for the SP Little Knight. I'm going to send away my guy, and they have Link Karibo. So, yeah, they can just tribute off the target. And anyway, I pop the set cross out because the rest of these cards don't matter. It's fine. It wasn't the greatest of outcomes for me, but okay. At this point, we are just kind of sitting here, hoping and praying we don't die. We should die. Like, there's no world in which we don't die here, but out comes Cupsy. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. They're going to activate it, grab the Marshmallow. They're going to pitch the Marshmallow. Yeah, out comes Cookie. Sure. Out comes Sorrow Cat. And then into Cookie. What the fuck are we doing? Here's the thing. I don't know why the hell we didn't go for the Snatchy. Like, obviously you just go Snatchy so that you can grab them, but they just didn't. And now they're on this. I don't know what this is, but it's something. I draw Ray, because of course I do. We're gonna go immediately into Kagari and then just go to combat here. This does force out the Imperm. I'm actually gonna go for the draw play here so that we can negate the Cookie, so that this engage is guaranteed to resolve. They're gonna attack out here, and like, that's fine. We're gonna grab the linkage here and draw into a second linkage, which is funny but not very good. Go into the linkage, go for the 0/0 effect is going to activate. We're gonna grab the engage here, activate the engage. We're gonna grab up the Lemnis Gate, and then and then draw into the Widow Anchor and pass back to the opponent. At this point, again, they have to just go into the not Herald of Arclight. I don't know why we're going Herald of Arclight. I mean, they did put both Snatchies into grave, but yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I couldn't tell you. They literally don't have anything. They just, like, bricked themselves. They didn't have access to any of their they don't have access to Snatchy. They didn't use it to go into a field spell or anything of that nature. So now we're just chilling. Yeah, I literally don't have to activate anything. They only had interaction if I activated anything. I activate the Lemnis Gate here, which does give me the ability to bounce 2 cards here, and they just concede. They're just like, they're done. I'm done. We're out of here. Yeah, they like literally didn't have anything. I don't know what that was. Good game. Alrighty, and here we are going second. Let's see what we can accomplish. We did draw Fua and Eclipse, which is pretty good. So let's see what we can... Oh, okay. Now, notably, they did immediately pitch Orcish Crescendo, and they drew the one. They drew Orcish Crescendo, so there's that. We know that they're playing Orcust. This line is actually pretty cool. They go for the Gandora off of this, and then special summon it to go into the Zombie Vamp. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Because most of the time, they just go Dragoon. but they actually used it to go into something a little bit more interesting. They did hit Heart Pour. Notably, they also put a bunch of spells into our grave. That's cool. So there's that. They're going to go for the Orchestrated Return as well. Look, as this combo goes on, it just becomes more and more confusing. You'll see. They're going to go Yalatea. They're going to go for the Heart Pour. Heart Pour effect is going to special summon Nightmare? Okay. They banished the Counter Trap. Sure, that makes sense. They're going to shuffle back in order to not set anything because they don't have any more targets. Makes sense. Sure. Out comes Longirsu. Sure. They're going to go for the Nightmare. Nightmare into the Symbol Skeleton and now into the Endling Girsu. Sure. Now they go for the Symbol Skeleton. All right. To summon out the Girsu. Okay, sure. Okay, now we bring back with World 1. All of this is fine for the most part. Inling Girsu is going to add back the Counter Trap. Sure, sure. Now they link off into... Okay, look, I have no idea what's going on here. Why the hell did we end on Nightmare and Barricade Borg? Where's IP Masquerena? Where's Dingirsu? That's, like, none of that is in rotation. Basically, we have to contest Counter Trap, and likely what I would imagine is like either Droplet or Imperm. So there's that. We draw Triple Tactics Talents, which is pretty good. My opponent's immediately going to try to take, which is fine. We're just going to tag out here and then force the basically Counter Trap here. That's the idea. Now, notably, they don't have to take here. So I summon the Kaina here, and they elect to not take my monster, which is a choice. They're going to go for the Galatea to grab up the World Wand, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to go for the triple attack, draw 2, and then go into the Vision. Vision is going to grab the MST. MST is going to pop the back row. It was Droplet, hit me for Ray. We're going to go for the Hayate here, and we're going to go to combat. I'm going to attack and then activate Book of Eclipse. You thought I forgot. No, of course. Yeah, that card does negate activations, which means that if we were to activate the Hayate, it could negate it. So yeah, we look at them. We're going to go for the Hayate to send to the graveyard the Engage, and last card in hand is Impulse. Yeah, of course. I mean, they drew a whole bunch of cards. It's not surprising. We're going to go for the Gargari. We're going to add back the Engage. Theoretically, it might have been better to go like linkage there for 0. But yeah, we're going to go for the Luminous Gate here. We grab... I draw into Rose, which is pretty nice. So there's that, which does allow me to now go into the 0 off of the Rose effect. So cool. Out comes Ray, out comes Rose. I elected to not search there, instead electing to pop, because I don't want to give them the draws. So there's that. We're going to go Azalea and attempt to pop the field spell. Barricade Board Blocker has text. This card has text. Do you know what's funny? It's the last effect. You can't even see it. You gotta scroll down. It's right here. Face up spells you control can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Ah, why does it have that text? Should have just popped the Barricade Board Blocker there. Anyway, it's fine. We're gonna go Shizuku here. Then we're gonna go for the Lemnis Gate. We're gonna put back a whole bunch of cards to bounce 1, which is, of course, the big guy. And then Rose triggers, negating one of their monsters. Then we're going to go for the Zeke. We're going to banish as well. We're going to banish that Link 1, and then go into Typhon. Oh, Hip Hip Hooray, activate the Typhon effect. We're going to bounce here, and then we're going to activate the Shark Cannon. Just kind of hoping and praying. They have nothing. They just draw nothing. That's our hopes. That's our prayers. I don't think they have anything. Sorry. They could search. They could search off of Crescendo, locking them into Dark Machines. It's not great. I didn't really have a good option. They go for Symbol Skeleton here. Now, to be fair, No, I can't be fair. What the hell was that? Why did we search Symbol Skeleton? Where's Girsu? Like, clearly you search Girsu there, and you send the other Symbol Skeleton from your deck. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their deck list is. It looks bad. Either way. They send Orcus Nightmare. That's fine. Do you know what's crazy? I win the game now. We're gonna go walk in with the Typhon. They're gonna declare a name. They declare 0, which is reasonable. But guess what? I can make a Kagari. Kagari is huge. 3,600. So we're gonna walk into the other guy, deal 25, and linkage again, because none of these cards have a once per turn, attack directly for 25, and win the game. What? All right, we're back with the deck, and honestly, okay, here is my problem with Sky Striker. Once per turns. That's it. A lot of the issue that I have with this deck is the simple fact that all of the powerful cards are also not once per turns. Engage is a card that, even with a once per turn, would be a very good card. It is not a once per turn. It's an extremely powerful card. It is one of the most busted cards of all time. There's a reason it was banned, and I still think it should be banned. I just think it doesn't really... It's too powerful. It's too powerful of a card, and it kind of eats the design space of other potentially more interesting cards or more useful cards. On top of that, things like linkage also not being a once per turn means that you can OTK very easily due to the fact that you can cycle linkage over and over and over again in order to deal a ton of damage through monsters and through back row and all of that jazz. It's very frustrating. It's not very fun in my mind. I'm not a big fan of that, but I know many other people are. All in all, though, like, this deck's fine. It bricks, though. It's not consistent, right? That's where things like Upstart Goblin could potentially help, right? You could play that in addition to other things, right? You could even play, as I said, more Radiant Typhoon stuff, right? So all in all, it's not like you don't have options to be more consistent, but by adding additional ways to start playing the game, you lose out on additional ways to... You lose out on like additional interactions and such, right? Obviously, you could put a bunch of different engines in here with Sky Striker because it's pretty generic. That's one of its biggest upsides and downsides is the fact that you can basically do any two guys now into Camellia, into full Sky Striker combo, and a bunch of other things like that. So there's that. All in all, though, here's my thoughts. This deck is not any better than it was previously. It is simply keeping in line with where it previously was within the metagame, which is a solid rogue deck that has the ability to go first, has the ability to go second. All in all, though, not much has changed, right? It's just kind of changing out some cards for some slightly better ones. That's all. This deck's fine. Again, I've never really been that big of a fan of it, but it works. It's a serviceable deck. I don't think it's good for climbing, though. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone who wants to specifically climb. I think it has a lot of weak matchups, and it's just not great right now. That's pretty much it. I don't think it gets better, though, sadly, for some people. It's great for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.